When we rendered service, we let the client know that service has been rendered, his proof of service rendered, and payment demand was sent via the invoice. Welcome to another episode with us here at Osage Financial. Thank you for clicking on the video and joining us today. If you're a student, we hope you find the information in this episode valuable to you. If you're a company looking for accountants, click the link below and we'll be in touch with you as soon as possible. Today's episode, it's story time. So at Osage Financial, we have a lot of different clients in a lot of different industries. We look at ourselves as the accounting team for the trades. However, we still work with a lot of different industries. Last weekend, we had a very nice client of ours that's been working with us for closer to 3-4 months. This client, we took him from creating his LLC, making sure that he has a business plan, a solid business plan, creating a budget for him, creating targets for how many clients he needs to service each month to be able to hit his revenue goals. After his revenue goals, we worked with him on managing his cost of goods, managing his labor, and then, importantly, it's one thing to make revenue, it's another thing to collect on that revenue. And something very important happened about collecting that revenue. So we got our client a very nice setup in his business. He knows how to market himself. He knows how to engage with his own new clients, to service new clients. And one of the things we did for him was we aligned him with a lot of real estate agents in the area. The economy goes up and down, real estate is up and down, and real estate agents are always looking to have the best cost efficiencies as possible in servicing the house before it's leased out or before it's sold or whatever is needed to make sure that the house has the best curb appeal for the new client, for their business as well. So a client in landscaping is excited. He got a real estate agent. The real estate agent needs a lawn cut and some branches on the roof trimmed. The weather's changing, so we needed to make sure that the roof was nice and clear of any tree branches leaning on it. Our client goes, does a great job, trims the lawn, edges the lawn, trims the branches off the tree. There's debris everywhere. He clears the debris up, takes it to the dumpster. The job is done. That's the revenue section. The other section is where it gets interesting. Our client calls me and says, hey, we did this work and the real estate agent hasn't paid us yet. And I said, well, we set you with QuickBooks. Have you sent the invoice to the client? Yes. Have you seen on the invoice that the client has seen the invoice? Yes. What did the client say to you? And he said, the client said, I paid the invoice. I was like, well, look, sometimes it's a weekend. QuickBooks might be a little slow in giving you the payment notice. Let's wait until Monday. Usually by Sunday, QuickBooks already has a successful payment notice or a deposit in transit notice so that by Monday, the funds are in your operating account. We waited. Monday came along, no payment. And I told him, hey, look, don't worry. The real estate agent might have been busy. It's a little concerning that he told you that the invoice was paid. It happens sometimes, but you have to always keep a positive mind. How about you resend the invoice to the client? This time, make sure that the client can get a text notification that the invoice is sent. I said, okay, perfect. I'll do that. He did just as I advised. Send the invoice to the client with the text notification. No response. And I thought, how often does it happen in real estate where an agent gets a service provider to provide a service and then says, I paid it, or never pays it? The more I looked into it, the more I was a little concerned about the high rates of this happening. And then I remember one of my mentors telling me this. He said, look, real estate is a scam-heavy industry. But just because it's a scam-heavy industry does not mean they're not good people in that industry. It's just like any industry. People will find loopholes in any way that they can. People will get away with whatever it is that they can. What's more important is you do the best job possible, whether it's your client in real estate or it's you purchasing a home. And when he told me that, I thought, when I purchased my home, I was so happy about getting the house. I overlooked a lot of things. We overlooked the details in the inspection of the property. It was our first property. We overlooked the details in the inspection, only to find out a little bit later that there were cracks in the ceiling. The cracks in the ceiling were covered by paint, so you couldn't visibly see them until the paint had dried and aged. Then you could easily see the cracks in the ceiling. Now, this is something that maybe the agent knew, maybe the home seller knew, but we, the home buyer, did not know. So I reflected back to that, and I realized what my landscaper, the client, had gotten into is similar kind of situation where he's excited that he has the job to do the landscaping for this client, but the clients may not have had the intention to pay him. So I thought, what does the law say? I remember that we used to put liens on clients that didn't pay for services rendered. So I looked at the law and I said, well, we have the ability to place a lien on him. It's just that it will take a month and a half for us to be able to give him a lien notice before we can put a lien on the property. The good news is this. Before we rendered service, we let him know how much the service would cost. The client accepted the cost of service. Before we rendered service, we let the client know what the payment terms were. The client accepted the payment terms. When we rendered service, we let the client know that service has been rendered, his proof of service rendered, and payment demand was sent via the invoice. You saw that the client opened the invoice. You saw that the client said that the invoice was paid even though it was not paid. We gave the client the benefit of the doubt to not accept the statement that they paid it. So we waited until Monday to be able to resend the invoice to the client, this time with a text notification. So in many instances, the client was given the invoice and made aware of the invoice to the point that the client said they paid the invoice. So you asked me, what do? I had people working with me to clear the branches off the roof. I was able to do the lawn cutting and trimming myself, but I needed help with the tree branches hanging on the roof. What do I do about paying my people? And I said, look, this is business. Sometimes this money has to come out of your pocket. Pay these people. You were going to pay them anyways. It's just that you're planning to pay them on the funds of the revenue from this job that you've done. You take this loss now because you believe that the money from the client will come whenever the client makes a payment, either sometime this week or when we make that lien notice. Even if we have to put a lien on this property and you don't get paid for a year or two when the property is sold, or when this real estate agent needs to refinance or something needs to happen in the property, you will get paid. Now it's just a matter of time. He was not happy about this. He was not excited about this. This was the first time it had happened. And we had recommended that he contacts real estate agents to be able to expand his horizons to bring in new revenue. The lesson that we learned here was very important. When we advise clients, we have to look multiple layers deeper than the surface level. The surface level for us was, look, you're cutting lawns for individual homeowners. And yes, that's great, but you need to expand more. You need to expand your horizon into new territories, meaning real estate agents. You need to go commercial. You need to get contracts. You need to broaden your horizons. However, when you broaden your horizons, there will always be lessons learned. There will always be a tax on new knowledge. I remember we did an episode, maybe 3 or 4 episodes ago, about the stupid tax. The stupid tax is a tax that you pay for lack of awareness or for lack of experience in a specific endeavor, in a specific industry, in a specific new item to you. And for us, we may not have paid a stupid tax because we know what it is. However, we're able to provide new information to our clients that when we enter these new territories, there will be new challenges to face. In this instance, if the real estate agent does not pay the services rendered, we will have to put a lien on their property so that we can claim a demand for that payment for that services rendered. This is something new to our client, not new to us necessarily, but as we told our client that we're able to level his knowledge up, that when he goes into these new service areas, these new service types, to these new clients that he's servicing, there are new things that he must adjust to. And we'll be there to make sure that he adjusts appropriately and we'll give him the best advice to be able to make sure that he succeeds. Now, did the real estate agent scam our landscaper? We don't know. He hasn't paid yet. But what we do know is we're able to give peace of mind to our landscaper that the demand for his services rendered will be paid in one way or another, either via the lien being paid so that the lien release can be completed. After a month and a half, we'll replace that lien, or maybe the real estate agent became sick, or maybe something happened. He was not able to pay. Eventually, he will pay. And our landscaper learned a very important business lesson. We will render service. However, there will be times where that money for that service rendered has to come out of your pocket first to pay your employees before that vendor pays you, before that person that you render service towards pays you. Homeowners generally pay as soon as the job is done. Some commercial clients take payment terms of net 15, 30, etc. Some real estate agents could say they paid you, but they didn't pay you. So he learned a lesson here. And our goal as at Osage Financial was to give him the best advice possible to make sure that he succeeds, and to be the listening ear whenever a new experience happens to him that he doesn't know how to handle. Thank you for watching this episode with us here at Osage Financial. See you on the next one.